If everyone could take their seats or a plot of grass, we'll begin in a minute. And if you could put your cell phones on mute, that would be appreciated. Good morning. Welcome to Maryknoll Fathers and Brothers. I'm Bob Ambrose, Chief Operating Officer for Maryknoll. We are here today to celebrate the installation of the largest solar panel canopy in Westchester County and the very first in the town of Ossining. This installation is important because it's a clear symbol of Maryknoll Fathers and Brothers' long-standing commitment to reduce its carbon footprint and to care for God's creation. Now, before I bring up our first speaker, I would like to recognize our society leadership and our many distinguished guests. Our General Counsel, Father Raymond Finch, Father Joseph Everson, Father Tom O'Brien, and Father Russ Feldmeyer. Our General Counsel-elect, go ahead. Father Lance Nadeau, Father Jim Lynch, Father Tim Kilkelly, and Father Lam Hua. Welcome. The Honorable Elijah Reichland Melnick, New York State Senator. Dana Levenberg, Town of Ossining Supervisor. Councilwoman Jackie Shaw, Town of Ossining, and Executive Director of the IFCA Housing Agency that does so much for our town. Suzanne Donnelly, Town Clerk of Ossining. The Honorable Rika Levin, Mayor of Ossining. The Honorable Karen DeTore, Mayor of the Village of Ossining. We love Ossining, obviously.
Village Manager.
Village Manager.
Only one mayor.
Claire Wickstead, Communications Director for Assemblywoman Sandy Galiff. Eliza Wickstead, Legislative Aide to Legislator Catherine Borgia. Leo Weigman, Director, Sustainable Westchester. Sarah Gianthi, who just made it, welcome. And Celeste Perez of NYSERDA. Jack Bertuzzi, Chief Executive Officer of Ecogy, the company that built these along with GreenSpark. Kevin Schulte, CEO of GreenSpark Solar. Michael Tucci and Elizabeth Brooks, Con Edison. Can you do something about the construction wherever you are? Martin Sues, Director of Energy Management, Archdiocese of New York. Michael Shillelagh Architects. Danny Glazer, Director, Green Business Partnership. And of course, our society members and employees. Welcome, everyone. And now, I would like to introduce, for his opening remarks and the blessing of the panels, our Superior General, Father Raymond Finch.
Perfect timing. The sun just got into my eyes. Good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome to Maryknoll. Many of us gathered here a few months ago for the groundbreaking ceremony. I'm delighted that today we're together again for this inauguration. This will be one of my last official acts as General Superior of Maryknoll Fathers and Brothers. I'm thrilled that I'm able to be here to bring this project to completion. before I finish my term of office. People frequently ask me, what is it with Maryknoll? Catholic missionary priests and brothers, why are they so interested in solar energy? There are a number of our men who are interested in the technology. Some of our men have utilized this technology in distant parts of the world where electricity is not as available as it is here in the United States. But our real interest has nothing to do with technology. It has nothing to do with the practicality or the economics of the project. Our interest, first and foremost, is the care of our common home. This project is one step of so many that are needed to change the course that we're on, a course which is actually an existential threat to our world and to all of us who live in this world. On September 1st of this year, there was a first in over 2,000 years of Christianity. Pope Francis, head of the Catholic Church, the Ecumenical Patriarch Bartholomew, head of the Orthodox Church, and Archbishop Justin of Canterbury, head of the Anglican Episcopal Church, issued a joint statement calling for the protection of our common home, the protection of creation. It might seem like a small thing, but that's the first time in 2,000 years that there's been a joint statement by the three heads of these three Christian churches. In that statement, they point out that the pandemic, which unfortunately is still with us, is teaching us that, in fact, we are all together in this. And it's teaching us three lessons. One, no one is safe until everyone is safe. Two, our actions really do affect one another. No matter how separate we think we are, what I do affects you. What you do affects me. In Africa, there's a statement, I am because we are. Sometimes it's really hard for us to realize that. And finally, what we do today affects what will happen tomorrow. We are responsible for the future. We're part of what's creating that future. For many Christians, September is celebrated as the season of creation. It's an appropriate time to prepare for the upcoming meeting in Glasgow on climate change. In their statements, the church leaders call on everyone, whatever their belief or worldview, to endeavor to listen to the cry of the earth and the cry of the people who are poor. They call us to examine our behavior and pledge meaningful sacrifices on our part for the sake of the earth, which God has given us. This inauguration is a very small step, but it's a step in the right direction. What we're doing here of itself will not change the existential threat of climate change, but together with hundreds of thousands of other projects around the world, it will make a difference. Today, we are making a difference for ourselves, for others, and for the future. Tomorrow can be worse, or tomorrow can be better than today. What we do today is creating tomorrow. I want to express my gratitude to Ecogy, which is making this step possible, and to the town of Ossining for their diligence in helping this project to come to completion. There are many people who have made this project a reality, from workers to politicians to civil leaders to religious leaders. When we strive together, many new possibilities are achievable. In their statement, the three religious leaders call on all of us to play our part in changing our collective response to the unprecedented threat of climate change and the destruction of our common home. Today, we're doing that. Hopefully, we're just one example of many hundreds and thousands and the cry of the poor, and who are responding to both of those cries. I want to ask us all to stand as I ask God to bless us and to bless this project. Gracious. Okay, we're good, we're good. Gracious and loving God, we thank you for your many gifts, for the universe, for creation, for our lives, for each other. We ask you to be with us, to bless this work. May it be one step in the many thousands and hundreds of thousands of steps that are needed to protect the creation that you have gifted us with. Bless us, bless those who have worked on this project, and help us, call us to continue on this path until we protect our common home and we make life better for one another, especially for the most poor. We ask your blessing in the name of the Father, of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. Please be seated.
Thank you, Father Ray. I would now like to introduce Mr. Jack Bertuzzi, CEO of Ecogy Energy. Jack?
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
It's a tough act to follow. For those of you who don't know Ecogy, we're the ones who developed this project behind us. And more pertinent is that we're going to own and operate this for the next 25 years. And that's a long time. One of the most interesting parts to me about our business, other than building bespoke power plants powered by the sun, which is pretty interesting, is the ability to learn about our partners and the history of their organizations. And that's important because we are going to become part of that history over these next 25 years, and hopefully beyond that. So in getting spooled up for my team, I found out that Maryknoll is sometimes known as the Marines of the Catholic Church, which is a very cool tagline. I like that a lot. And they got this reputation from moving into rough areas and living side by side with indigenous people in order to combat poverty, provide health care, build communities, and advance peace and social justice. And I was thinking about these words: community, social justice, health care, fighting poverty. And I thought, I think I've seen some of my friends in Brooklyn and some corporations posting about this stuff on Facebook and LinkedIn. Meanwhile, these Maryknollers have been in the trenches doing these things tirelessly for over 100 years. We live in perilous times right now, and I'm not going to talk too much about the battles that we've been through, or more importantly, what future generations will have to face. But too often in our culture these days, we focus on rhetoric that supplants actual accomplishments, and seemingly live in a world where words somehow speak louder than action. And so when I read about Maryknoll and its history, I said, here is an organization that actually does something. That's been clear throughout this entire process. From negotiating the site lease to managing the construction, they've been with us every step of the way. As we've heard, our world does not change overnight. You don't need to tell an organization who works on a timescale of eternity to know that it takes time. But what it does take is the understanding that there is no silver bullet, that change only happens one project at a time. And so with that, for this project, I want to say some thanks. First, I want to thank my team at Ecogy. Creating clean, distributed power plants from thin air is insanely hard. And I mean this, there's no better team than the team that we have here at Ecogy to do just that. Secondly, I want to thank our local government, including Town Supervisor Dana Levenbar and Ossining Mayor Rick Levin. This project represents one of the best land uses available for solar, but it's also pretty futuristic looking. So it's great to work with forward-thinking local governments who see the benefits clean energy can bring their community when done right. I also want to thank New York State, and in particular NYSERDA and Sarah Jayanti with the New York Sun program. New York State is actually one of the most forward-thinking states when it comes to clean energy, and without support like the New York Sun program, projects like these would just simply not happen. I want to thank Mike Tucci and Elizabeth Brooks from Con Ed. It's actually been a pleasure working with you all, and we look forward to connecting many more systems into the Con Ed grid with a shared mission of building a cleaner, more resilient grid together. I want to thank Leo and the folks at Sustainable Westchester who helped us reach out to local community members to actually subscribe to this system that you're seeing and bring savings on their electricity bill from the clean energy that this system is going to produce. I want to thank Joe and Kevin and the GreenSpark team who brought the manpower, created the jobs, and did the real work of building this thing. It's really difficult. And finally, the Maryknoll team for continuing their legacy of environmental stewardship. Thank you so much for making this happen.
Thank you, Jack. I'd now like to bring up someone who joined us at the groundbreaking ceremony, hard hat and all. I think it was early summer or late spring. Supervisor Dana Levenberg, Town of Ossining. Dana?
That's two tough acts to follow. Actually, we were just talking in our office the other day about history, because we were speaking with somebody yesterday who was interested across the river at a library putting electric vehicle charging stations in the library, and she wanted to know what our experience had been. We have a few in Ossining, and she said, oh, well, we have a very constraining historical architectural society, so I don't think we're going to be able to put up solar panels anywhere. And Victoria Caffarelli from my office said, well, this will be the history in the next 25 years or so. So I like that reference that you made to history. And really, Father Finch, all your words were just so meaningful and so inspirational, and thank you so much for being such a thought leader and an action leader on environmental stewardship. It's my pleasure and privilege to be here today, joining so many public and private organizations committed to sustainability. First, I would like to introduce my fellow board members, one of whom is here today, Jackie Shaw, who's also the executive director of the IFCA Housing Network, and also Liz Feldman, Northern Wiltshire, and Greg Meyer, and they're all committed to a sustainable community. Thank you to Sustainable Westchester and New York State, NYSERDA. We've had a number of opportunities presented to us over the past 6 years or so to really dig in here in the town of Ossining and up our game at the community level to focus on reducing carbon emissions. We've introduced leaf blower legislation, added electric vehicle charging stations in 3 of our town parks. We've purchased electric vehicles for our own town fleet, participated in 100% green community choice aggregation, converted street lighting to LEDs, brought in air source heat pumps for heating and cooling, offered the same through the Energy Smart Homes program to our community. We've established a battery energy storage code and adopted the New York stretch code for building. We've energized, we've solarized, and so much more. We focused on walkability and bikeability and taken tree inventories, established a habitat stewards group. We've joined Croton 100 and Ossining 100, supported our Green Ossining Committee to educate and empower people to work on reducing their carbon footprint. And with our Environmental Action Committee, we have worked on overhauling land use policies And we're currently developing a new comprehensive plan for the town with a focus on sustainability. And we've reached out to Maryknoll as well for their input on that. With that laundry list, I would be remiss if I didn't give a shameless plug here, and yes, pun intended, for International Car-Free Day, which is coming up on September 22nd, 2021. The town and the village are celebrating this event in partnership with Green Ossining once again. So I hope all of you here today will take the pledge, and I think that's something that also Father Finch referred to, which was taking the pledge, to go car-free or car-light on September 22nd, just one day, by visiting 511nyrideshare.org and unplug from fossil fuels. We have some flyers actually that somebody here from Bob Ambrose's office has. Chuck, I think, said she would put them out, and she was going to allow all three scales, tier 1, tier 2, and also these larger scale tier 3 solar developments to exist. Of course, we know these developments are a balance between protecting the environment through reduction of fossil fuel reliance and acknowledging the benefit we receive from trees, not all of which can be measured by carbon offsets. So we were super excited that the first real solar development project, tier 3, that got approved in Ossining was with Ecogy and Maryknoll, where an already cleared piece of property, a parking lot, or two actually, was identified as a place to build a solar canopy. And not only will it help Maryknoll balance their books, keep rain off the heads of those opening their umbrellas, and continue their mission to help sustain all of us, but it will also help the Fathers and Brothers offset their reliance on fossil fuels, and it's a community solar development with 77 households in Ossining, including 15 or all of IFCA's affordable units in Ossining, housing tenants already signed up. And I just spoke with Jackie Shaw, and she informed me that is about 220 residents who will be benefiting from a 10% discount on their Con Ed bill, or their electricity bill. So that's so exciting. Additionally, the 2,184 panel system will produce enough electricity to offset CO2 emissions from 2,292,637 gallons of gasoline consumed. And I thank Ecogy for these statistics. The clean electricity produced over the project's lifetime is also equivalent to the carbon sequestered by 24,963 acres of U.S. forests in 1 year. And of course, Ecogy Energy's focus on developing energy systems that serve traditionally underserved communities and low to moderate income individuals who have historically been left out of the clean energy transition was also extremely appealing. So we are grateful for this alignment of the heavens. It feels like just a couple weeks ago we were here for the groundbreaking. To be back now and see how this project has developed and is ready to go is just so exciting. We hope the sun continues to shine every single day on this wonderful place that we know is close to God, and brings clean, renewable energy from the sun to our community in hopes that we can sustain our existence on this planet a little bit longer. We know that when every role in sustainability, we all stand to benefit. So thanks again to Ecogy, Maryknoll, Green Spark, NYSERDA, the Planning Board, the EAC, the Building Department, our planners, lawyers, my office staff, and everyone else who participated in bringing this vision to fruition. We indeed are blessed.
Thank you very much, Dana. I'd like to bring up now the Director of Solar Programs for Sustainable Westchester, Leo Wegman.
Thank you and good morning, and thanks to the gentle powers above for arranging such a beautiful day. Congratulations to Father Finch and the entire team at Maryknoll Fathers and Brothers for their foresight and their direct action to care for our common home, as Father Finch put it. And to my good friends at Ecogy, or Ecogy Energy, as I should say, Jack Bertuzzi, Brock Gibeon, Julie Magilisi, for the groundbreaking work they did to fund and propose and bring this project to fruition. Thanks as well to GreenSpark's construction team for building it on time and building it so well. And to our local governments, especially Supervisor Dana Levenberg, my good friend, and the entire town and village of Ossining for all the support from this project through the issuance of permits, through to the final enrollment of local. It's an honor to be part of a team of organizations that have partnered in creating this trailblazing clean energy project. I'm here today on behalf of our Executive Director, Nina Orville, and our entire team, including our Solar Program Manager, Claire Kokusko, who assisted in enrolling local residents as subscribers to these solar panels. Hello, Shelby. How are you? Shelby's the drone man. If you need to get a good picture with drones, Shelby's there for you from Ecogy. Sustainable Westchester is a nonprofit consortium of 44 municipalities in Westchester, cities, towns, and villages, and includes the county itself as a member. Our mission at Sustainable Westchester is to develop innovative programs and initiatives that are socially and economically responsible, with the goal of furthering the transition to our clean energy future and creating healthier, more resilient, and sustainable communities for everyone. To realize the goals of 100% renewable energy by 2040 will require a massive shift away from the old model relying on centralized fossil fuel plants located far away toward hundreds, indeed thousands, of local clean energy power plants such as this one located in our own neighborhoods. This shift requires exactly the kind of public-private nonprofit partnership that we see present here today. In this case, we work closely with the town and village of Ossining to educate local residents about the benefits of this community solar project, help them subscribe to this community solar project, and will earn long savings from the renewable energy that it will deliver to the electricity grid for over 2 decades to come. The work we do helps community solar models such as this project replicate itself county-wide through these public and privately municipally held projects alike. Since 2019, our team at Sustainable Westchester has assisted solar developers reach full subscriber enrollment on over 24 community solar projects. This in turn has helped thousands of local residents in Westchester benefit from the savings on their monthly electric bills earned by their shares of these community solar assets. At Sustainable Westchester, this ability to foster these public-private nonprofit partnerships for the greater good and the benefit of all is part of our secret sauce or our superpower in collaboration with so many local partners. We look forward to many more such clean energy collaborations among our county's many private, public, and nonprofit organizations. Again, thank you and congratulations to all on such a landmark project.
Thank you, Leo. I'd like to now bring up Sarah Jayanthe, New York Sun Project Manager for NYSERDA.
I love this. Please be gentle with the microphone. Loving that. Good morning, everyone. How are you today? So thank you so much for that introduction, Bob. I'm pleased to be here with Bob and Father Ray Finch from Maryknoll Fathers and Brothers, Jack Bertuzzi, CEO of Ecogy Energy, who I have known since the Cleantech Open, which is so wonderful. We've known each other for a while. Leo Wegman, Director of Solar Programs for Sustainable Westchester, and Supervisor Dana Levenberg from the town of Ossining. I'm so excited to be gathered here with them and all of you to celebrate the completion of the Maryknoll Fathers and Brothers Solar Canopy project, the first canopy and community solar system in the town of Ossining. Like, what an incredible accomplishment. Congratulations, everybody. I also want to take a moment to welcome the elected officials who are able to come here today. Mayor of Ossining, Rika Levin, Manager for the Village of Ossining, Karen Diator, Councilwoman Jackie Shaw, Elijah Nick, Claire Wickstead, who's representing Assemblywoman Sandy Galeff, and Elijah Wickstead, who's representing Legislature Catherine Borgia. As Bob said, I'm Sarah Jayanthe, Project Manager for the New York Sun program at NYSERDA, the state's Energy Research and Development Authority. I'm pleased to be here to mark the completion of this project, which exemplifies how community solar is a valuable tool to increase solar access because it offers the opportunity for renters, homeowners, businesses, anyone who really can't access solar to reduce energy bills without the cost of installing a standalone system. This project in particular is delivering clean energy to 77 residents in the town of Ossining, which I know Dana already told you. But what I think is so remarkable is that this does include the local Ossining Affordable Housing Agency members as well. This project enables them to reduce their energy costs and help to green the grid and make the community cleaner and healthier. This project and many others like it across the state have helped NYSERDA actually achieve our recently announced milestone of reaching 3 gigawatts of solar energy in the state of New York. And I'm pleased to report that there's already enough solar projects in development that are expected to come online in the next 2 years, bringing New York State to 95% of the 6 gigawatt target mandated in the Climate Leadership Community Protection Act. So we're very happy about that, and Ecogy and other developers are very much part of the reason why we've been able to meet that. So with the ambitious goals of the Climate Act guiding us, New York is building a robust solar market that's sustainable. There's a lot to be proud of across the state, and I'd like to take a few moments to highlight some of these successes, which we are all a part of. So in 2020, which we can all universally acknowledge was an incredibly difficult time, New York actually became the nation's leading community solar market. Despite the hardships that we all faced, 2020 was our best year yet for solar, with 549 megawatts of distributed solar deployed statewide, and a majority of it was actually supported by the New York Sun program. Since 2011, the New York Sun Initiative, which provides incentives to support the growth of the solar energy industry, including this project, installed solar on the rooftop or property of 145,000 homes spanning every county in New York State, provided $1.2 billion in incentives, actually over $1.2 billion in incentives, which leveraged $5.6 billion in private investment, drove over 2,100% solar growth in the state, approximately 12,000 jobs in the solar industry, helped drive down the cost of solar 69% in that 10-year time, and committed $30 million for projects benefiting environmental justice in disadvantaged communities. Increasing access to solar energy supports the state goals that 70% of the electricity comes from renewable sources like wind and solar by 2030, while ensuring that that transition to a clean energy economy benefits all New Yorkers. And I think that this project really exemplifies that it's accessible to all. So thank you for supporting an essential component of this, which is the development of more community solar. Community solar is one of the easiest ways for all New Yorkers to lower their carbon footprint and their energy costs. If you've thought about going solar and you can't put it on your roof, I recommend checking out community solar. Lowers their carbon footprint, reducing their energy costs, and help protect our natural resources for generations to come. Thank you very much for the opportunity to join today's ribbon cutting and celebration. Congratulations on behalf of NYSERDA and the New York Sun team to everybody who was involved on the success of this project, and thank you so much for having me.
Thank you, Sarah. Is Danny here? Danny Glazer? Okay, come on up. Danny Glazer is the program director for the Green Business Partnership. Danny, if you would explain a little bit about what Maryknoll has done over the past several years to qualify for the certification that Danny's about to give to Father Finch. Welcome.
Pleasure. Thank you. Well, Maryknoll didn't just qualify, they really knocked it out of the park. So I was introduced to this wonderful organization probably about 5 years ago through my friend Orette DeCuffa, who used to work in the gift shop. And Maryknoll joined the Green Business Partnership. We have about 150 members in Westchester and around the state who have gone through a very rigorous process of becoming sustainable and getting certified. So they need to address organizational commitment, which means green teams, which was great here, energy, waste, water, transportation, land use. And, you know, Maryknoll embraced this project. It took about a year to get certified and just took everything to the next level, from, you know, food and the cafeteria and, you know, and I was always so touched with the way that they really were stewards of the environment. And my hope is that
what they've done here inspires any similar organization or all organizations to follow in their footsteps for what they have done. So we were supposed to have this ceremony in March 2020 when they were actually certified. So I was delighted when I got here and Chuck said, okay, we're going to do this today. So completely unprepared, but really from my heart, and representing my team, which is Yana Petrakova and Scott Fernquist, who are my partners. And this is also on behalf of Westchester County Government and the Business Council of Westchester. So it is my pleasure to provide this wonderful certificate, and I'm going to read what it says. Green Business Certification presented, well, not on this 23rd day of March 2020, to Maryknoll Fathers and Brothers in recognition of achieving Green Business Certification through visionary leadership, organizational commitment, and the successful integration of environmental sustainability into all areas of operation. So congratulations.
Thank you, Danny. At this point, we would like to bring up the official ribbon cutters for the ribbon cutting ceremony. I warn you, these are actual scissors and they're very, very sharp, so please be careful. Senator, if you would join us at the ribbon, and your scissor is right behind my chair. Be careful, you could shave with it. And all of our speakers, Father Ray, Jack, Dana, Leo, and Sarah, please join us at the ribbon. I would like to thank everyone for coming out this morning and joining us for this important occasion. Thank you for your attention, and please help yourself to the refreshments provided by Ecogy. Have a good morning.